What's up, y'all? It's Jam and Sam, and today we're going to do a cover of Cascade Capers from Donkey Kong Country 3, focusing on the GBA version. Now, I realize people have been asking for Donkey Kong Country 3 GBA to be restored, but currently that is not possible today, and tomorrow isn't looking good either, because these samples are very hard to find, and it is very unlikely that any of them, and that more information will be found anytime soon. So, but with that being said, I do have I've done a lot of research into this game, and there are a lot of things that are found, but even though a lot of things remain unfound, um, there's still some things that can be done in the way of covers, even if full restorations are not possible. So with the research that I've done on these covers, maybe a lot of them can sound very similar to the original. So maybe recreation would be a more proper term. Now for this project, since I am doing a cover, I do want to take some creative liberties. And I would like to do, something rather long, maybe between 10 and 15 minutes, where I would be maybe merging the SNES version and the GBA version, where I could do one of the just plain the GBA version, and then the SNES version with GBA instruments, and then the GBA version with SNES instruments, and then maybe after that do some sort of improvisation stuff on my own, and then merge that, lump that all into one track. But I've got a start so far. I've done this in the SNES restored project file, so that I can have easy access to all the instruments and the notes of the SNES version. And I've also done I've done a little bit of a test on the beginning of the GBA version. So here's what I have so far. Okay, and that is, I'll run you through what I kind of did here. So this percussion loop, quite similar to the original, right? Quite similar to the GBA version. I went into SliceX, which I think comes free with some edition of FL Studio. Otherwise, you'd have to buy it, and I don't know how much it costs now. But basically, I took two recordings from freesound.org. You can get this for free. This is the sound of someone tapping drumsticks together. And it has a bunch of effects on it right now, but here's the raw sound. So it's a bunch of those. It's a series of those. And then on the, that's deck B. And on deck A, I have this sample from, it's like it's a drum loop of someone, also some other sticks. And I think this is from something called One Man Tribe. Like a free sample pack, something called One Man Tribe. No. Where is that? Oh, there it is. So it's that, and then I've had SliceX just kind of slice this up, and so that I can make my own loop. And so with these two together, I've also set up a filter, like a small filter, where if you go cut mod X and then you do this, then every time you change the modulation X notes here, they're going to it's going to change the filter. And so what I did was I used the randomize function, and I've made it create a random mod X and a random pattern. And then after that, I just kind of picked and chose what notes I wanted to make sure there's no repeats. And then I've also turned down the velocity of the regular sticks because they were much louder. And then I've also spread the panning, so so the sticks are panned one way, and the other sticks, the bow sticks, are panned the other way. So you have this sense of stereo. Gives you a lot more stereo value. So without effects, that sounds like. So I'm able to get a solid 4 bars of an expressive changing percussion line with only like 2 lines of samples, like 2 series of samples. So it's really a good example of how you can take a drum loop that was once one thing and turn it into something completely different, which is, I think, what Dave did. Like, one reason we're having so much trouble, I'm having so much trouble finding what was done in the GBA soundtrack, because Dave stated that he had used a similar plugin to create his own drum loops by chopping up other drum loops. So it's really almost impossible to predict what he did, because it could be like this, where it like what I've done here, where it's like 2 different loops, but they're all chopped up and translated into something completely different. And so this is how it sounds without effects. And then I'll run you through some of the effects I've put on top of that. So if I turn all of these off, first there's chorus, not really very audible, but the phaser really does a lot. Oh wait, wow, oh, that's because I put it down on the, I took it off. Percussion, there we go. So the first is chorus. Oh, and then there's also reverb in there. So you have reverb, you have it going through the reverb bus. Reverb adds a lot, and then chorus makes it feel really like kind of wishy-washy and nice. And then you have a phaser. And then it's EQ'd a little bit to bring out some of that brightness, because it's very dark samples. And then I turned down the mids a little bit and put a high pass on it. And then I've added some delay. Nice. So that's an example of some magic you can do with a slicer and 2 drum loops and some effects. Now the next thing that I've done is these pads, and I'm using FM8 for this, and I'm using a preset on here which is likely what Dave had originally used for this patch in the GBA version. And I've got 2 layers here. So this one's the FM8. This is the soft strings preset. Pretty nice preset. And if I pan this left a little bit, I've got a layer here called Pad Espacial. This is a preset from Obade, a free Obade pack on in Harmor, and I've disabled the B layer. To give it a little less brightness and make it a little more subtle. And then together they sound like this. I'll also pan this one that way to give it some stereo value. So this pad adds a little bit of weight, where it's got a lot of like mostly doing the work around here on the lower frequencies, and it gives a little bit of weight to this pad here. And FM8, I snatched from Native Instruments website when they were having a sale for like $20, so that was pretty cheap. And I think Harmor also came with my edition of FL. Either that or I bought it. I don't think it was too expensive, but yeah. So that's what I've got so far, and we're going to continue adding on to that. Now, at this point in the song, I do believe it repeats. This is the full chord progression, but I do believe it mostly just repeats this part here, a few times. And then after that, after the first repetition, it goes into, it gives it a piano. And the piano, in Donkey Kong Country 3 GBA, I do believe was used let's see. what's called Nemesis Grand by Giga Piano. And where is that? Where did I store that? Here it is. So if I drag this in here, now, and this is the ding dun 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 dun, dun like tinkly piano there. Now, one problem I have here is this is going to go into the same mixer track as the bass from the SNES version, and we don't want that. So let's create a separate master output, and let's go to our outputs and send it to 3 and 4. And this is a really annoying thing that you have to do for Contact. They make it really complicated. There's like 3 steps to this. You have to go, now I have to go and send this to another out, which I want to be 17. And I'm already going to 5, so 5 minus 17 would be 12. I just send this 12 more than is here. Now, if I select channel 2, here's the piano. So here, we can call this mixer track piano. And I'm going to send this to the reverb, the lead reverb of the song. And also, I need to replay, because there's like a technical thing where if you open this, it literally just crashes FL Studio. because Native Instruments doesn't really make their instruments very technically integral. So I have to replace this with a new instance. So that ought to do. And so the line that is being played here in the original, I have to make a new pattern and call it piano. So the line that's being played here is something like something up here. Something like that. So it's like ding dun 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 dun. And then it does dun 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 dun. No, that's not right. Dun 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 dun. It's here. Okay. So I'm gonna pull up the original for this. Let's see. Gonna have to transcribe this by ear, which is not that hard. Now, where's the GBA? I literally typed it in and it doesn't give it to me. Okay. How about waterfall? Maybe this one would do. Okay, so. Okay, so let's see how that plays out. Okay. Dun 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 dun. I think there's one note that's like wrong here. It's supposed to be. Nah. Okay, and then the next phrase is. Dun 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 dun. And then you have dun 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 dun. No. Yeah, that sounds about right. Let's check that. No, it's dun 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 dun. Just that note is not there. Dun 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 dun. So we kind of repeat it again, but we do dun 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 dun. And then this part's gone. Dun 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 dun. Maybe not that low. And then they have this one down here. So then we have dun 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 dun. And then we have two slides here. Dun 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 dun. And then this one I think was a repeat of the last one. Nice. Okay. And here's the point where we start to get where the chord progression starts to complete. So up until now you just have D minor and G major, but then you start to complete the chord. So this means let's move this up to the top. Let's raise the volume a little bit. Okay, and then when we extend this out, we have more of the drum loop, and then we have the chord loop continuing. And then the piano, we're gonna have it have some delay. Give it some diffusion, give it some panning, and then we'll turn it down a bit. Okay, and then that chord progression, there's the ending here, the last 4 bars. So let's see what we have there. Let me make sure I've got everything right so far. So let's see. I think it's like this. Dun, dun. Yeah, something like that. Dun, 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 dun. Dun, 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 dun. Dun, 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 dun. And then dun, 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 dun. Okay, but this is supposed to be later. Nice. Okay, and then we start to, I think we start to introduce the drum loop, but I don't actually have the drum loop. Morning, dudes. Happy to catch another stream. Welcome, Space Dan. Happy to have you here. All right, so here is, I think, where the drum loop comes in. Yes. And I know what the drum loop is. Like it's a known thing that is from Stylus Remix, but I don't know if I actually have the wave from Stylus, and I think I don't have the Stylus VST on me right now. Unfortunately. So I'm gonna have to go and try to find a wave of that. See if I can track down if anyone has made a wave of it. Let's see. 'Cause I forgot about that part. Wait a second. Which one is that? Which loop is that? 60 volcano combo. Well, volcano combo, let me try searching for that. Don't think anyone has posted it anywhere. Let me request it. See if anyone has. No, I think I'm gonna have some. We'll have to have someone wait for someone to give it to me. Okay, but anyway, there are other things happening at this moment. One of which is the piano turns into a bass. So there is, what is happening with the bass here? Let's see. So it's a bit loud though. So when the piano turns into a bass, it's first playing. Sounds like it's playing the root notes of the chords with an octave rhythm. Dun-dun-dun. So it's like. So it's like. Dun-dun-dun, dun-dun-dun. Something like. Dun-dun-dun, dun-dun-dun. And then it repeats like dun-dun-dun, dun-dun-dun. And then I think it omits this part, this little tail here. But this piano is kind of a bass, so it shouldn't really get a lot of reverb. I don't know. We'll check. We'll figure that out later. Da-da-dun, da-da-dun. Okay, so it doesn't have that trill. It's like and I think it's hitting a D up here. And then I think it goes to like the next note. Yeah, that sounds about right. And then but the notes sort of bleed in like a legato, so. Okay, so then this would be, and then it would go to G, because G is the next note. Okay, and then where does it go after that? Back to D? Right, so it loops that. Then it goes to like F. To A. And then C. Roundabouts. Okay, so I'm gonna put this in a separate line because I need this to be separate from the piano melody. So we're gonna call this piano melody. And then we're gonna make a new pattern called piano bass. And then we're gonna paste this here. And I think this should be a lot quieter. Actually, I think we need to make this a new patch because it's not gelling well with the other piano. So for this, we're gonna need another Nemesis Grand. I'm gonna save my project now just in case. So this can stay at this volume. And then Grand, let's call this bass. And then we're gonna put this to a separate master out. And we're gonna send this to plugin outs 5 and 6. And plugin outs 5 and 6 are gonna go to 13. Channel 13. Okay, so that means that we want to send these notes to channel 3. Alt C to change. Nice. Now we have no reverb. And for some reason it's panned to the left. I don't want that, so I'm going to pan it back. Seems like there's a natural pan. Let's correct that. And now it's a little bit quiet, so let's raise it up just a little. And even somehow, I think it goes back to the same volume it was the other patches. I don't know why. Maybe it's the reverb doing things. Maybe because reverb on the bass kind of like doubles up on a lot of frequencies. Since there's so slow frequencies, there's fewer frequencies, so it leaves a lot of room for them to like phase and double up. So that might have been what was making it loud and annoying. So let's call this piano bass. Now, in theory, since I know the chord progression, oh, hello, welcome, sus master. Man, ooh, you do amazing creations of original classic songs. Well done. I always look forward to new uploads, especially your Donkey Kong songs. Thank you. I'm glad you enjoy it, and welcome. Donkey Kong, welcome, Crystal Coconut. Donkey Kong Country 3, nice. Yes, Donkey Kong Country 3. Welcome, chatbot Justin. Yo, good morning. Morning. I think you had the high note right. You had the second high note right before. What? Wait, in what regard? You had the second high note right before. Oh, you mean like this part of the thing where it's like it actually goes the octave, like it does straight octave. Maybe. Yeah, I think that is right, actually. Thank you. Okay, so now if I duplicate this and I send this to, this is going to go to, I think, F now. And then this one will go to A because I know that's the next part in the chord progression. And then it goes real quick to C. So let's see how that goes. That's not really gelling, right? So let's see what exactly is going on here. Okay, and then that's right. Oh, it goes, repeats that part first. And then okay, so what is happening here? Okay, so I don't think that F is right. I think it's got to be dun dun dun. I think maybe it's a C. And then you go down to A sharp maybe for this part. Let me put this in the context of the song and see if that makes a little more sense. So these pads will need to be duplicated. And then so will the bass. Okay, so maybe this is a C at this point, and I got it wrong. So maybe this is here. Let me remove these at this point, because at this point I don't know what is real. Actually, I think I kind of had it right before. When it was an F. Yeah, on the last two don't return to the root note in the whole progression. I mean, I'm not sure what you mean. Last two don't return to the root note in the whole progression. Yeah, the last two I think are supposed to be A. Let me undo that because I think the F was working better originally. Well, actually, no, I've already got it mapped out, so let me just remap it. So I think F was gelling more with this. And then this. Maybe. So whoops. can just, probably easier just to match it. Yeah, I definitely think that's an F. Or is it E? No. Yeah, it's gotta be an F. But then does it dip down with those two last notes? Oh no, it does. So it does like a da-da-dum. I think it does like a passing note here. Okay, and then where does it go? I think the first loop is right, the second and third high notes are a few semitones off. Oh yeah, so this is what you mean like here, right? Because this one, or maybe it was like here. No, I think it was like this. Yeah. Okay, and then definitely it goes down, I think it goes down to A. Let's see. No. But that seems like another F. So, maybe that wasn't an F up there. So it's like... It definitely sounds like an F to me. Oh, that sounds right. Okay, cool. We are in agreement. And now, but the only thing I'm struggling with is the... I think it does go an octave down, right? Yeah, definitely. It goes from like F to F. Da-da-dum. I think it goes back, and then I think it ends on D, actually. No. It ends on C, because that's where I think the last chord is. And then, does it do a little passing note there? I can't remember. Okay, it doesn't do the passing note, so the passing notes are gone here. And then it just repeats this part, this like line of dun 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 dun. No, that can't be. I definitely heard it's a different note up here. I think this note, this F is not right. Yeah, it's something else. Maybe a C. No, it's gotta be like a B, maybe? No. I can hear it without the chord progression. I think it's higher than that. Ah, but it doesn't sound quite that high. So we have to, I'm gonna play the whole thing. It's definitely lower than the D. It's definitely lower than the D, I can tell that. Maybe it is that A. And then it goes down to the F. Yeah, that sounds right. Okay, maybe that should be it. Which means that if it follows a root progression, is it microtonal? Definitely not microtonal. Dave didn't do anything microtonal. I think it's just our ears deceiving us. Or if anything, it's a A sharp. Oh, look at that. I think it's A sharp, which I didn't expect because I thought this piece was in C, but it's actually in D minor. So, which makes sense because we have the D is home. I thought it was like a modal thing, but no. Okay, so that brings to light different things in the chord progression. So in the context of this, that would mean our chord progression would have to be, oh, it's just like this G minor instead of, I thought it was G major, but it's actually G minor. Okay. Wait, no, but that's the second chord, so that wouldn't be. No, it's definitely G major, so it is modal from this point. But then then on the second chord, it goes to something with A major, with A sharp in it. So maybe it's, oh, I'm gonna have to remove. But I think this one was higher, like this one was the octave up. Okay, that seems pretty good. Let's fuse these two notes. So with that in mind, let's go back to the pads. So that's the chord we have here. Yeah, it's definitely the right chord. And I do think it's the right inversion as well. Nice. But all the notes sound separate anyway, so let's kind of chop them. I want them to sound separate, like. Okay, so, and with that being said, then the next one is F, so this would probably be an F major. We'll probably go down to F major. Yeah, that makes sense with what I remember from the song. But then it changes, it goes to... It changes like on the other bar. It goes to like C major, I think. Nice. Okay. Nice. Okay, that works. Sounds nice. Okay, so the only other thing in here besides the drum beat is the synth. The and I'm sure he used like FM8 for this. I'm not sure if maybe I could use FM8. I don't really know how to use FM8. I would more just be or to create an this is okay, at least they give you a solid like sine tone to start out with. I don't really know how to use this. I think it would be better for me just to use citrus because I'm more comfortable with citrus. And citrus, so let's start out with a sine tone. And this one, so the synth that we have here, let's find first empty and call this theremin. But we already have one called theremin, so let's call this synth. I don't think I have a pattern called synth. Yeah. Okay, so be called synth, and then we go. So it's like it's kind of. I think the tone is kind of like. There it is. So we have. Add it. Something like Okay, I think that's it, yeah. Whoa, is FL Studio freezing on me? Wow. What a stupid program. Okay, so I'm gonna have to get grab a backup from here. Welcome. Wait, let me get this open. Never caught one of these streams. The DKC restorations are fire. Thank you. Drink water. Welcome. Glad you glad you like it. I'm also drinking water. Okay, so let's see how much I lost because FL Studio is a buggy mess. So it looks like 2 minutes before the crash. 2 minutes ago they had I got one. Let's see what we've got. We had a backup. Okay, so it looks like I had just opened FM8, so I didn't lose much, thankfully. I have set my FL Studio to create frequent backups since Windows is such a bad, like a straight up just bad machine, and it freezes and crashes all the time. And FL Studio is not doesn't really seem to help that. It also does crash a lot. Okay, so this we'll have here to save, and then let's replace this with citrus. And then once again, do like that. And then we'll find first empty, call this synth. And then we'll also call the citrus patch synth. And then we'll save that just in case it decides to freeze in the same place again. You never know with this sort of thing. I think actually we need to change the patch because the patch has an incorrect pitch. It pitches it up an octave. So we have to, whoops, gotta go down an octave now. No. Okay, so I think it says to be slower. There we go. I think there might be a G here. have to quantize this. Okay, there it is. There's a G in there. Okay, so welcome Shuffle Gaming. I just found your channel and happen to be live. Fabulous work on the restorations. Thank you. Glad you enjoy it. Welcome. Oh hey, I love your remixes. Thank you, DG. Welcome. Nice. Why do these people have crowns next to their name? Oh, top fans. Nice. Wow, welcome. So we got this. So now we just need to configure the patch so that it sounds like the same timbre as in the game. So first of all, we need, I think one of these, probably, it's definitely FM, so maybe, no, that's annoying. Okay, that's a good start. Let's see, for the tone, we're gonna have to configure the portamento, which means it slides between notes. So let's do mono and then nice. And then I think there has to be some kind of volume envelope here. But it does it should connect the notes, and I don't know why it's not doing that. I think because there has to be like an actual connected note here. So if I just drag this part out. But this one, I want this one to be separate, so okay, and then I have to put these back. Okay, and then I want this one to be like a little bit separate. But that would also mean that I would like this one have a little bit of attack, I think, and a little bit of release. Let's take off the snap. Okay, that sounds a little better. Maybe quantize that. It's a little loud, so let's turn it down. Let's give it some chorus. Nice. Now the original, let me isolate this and by finding the synth riff. I don't even know if that's the right one, actually. That's crazy. I don't think that's the right one. Oh well, so let's just listen to the original then. Still, I can still hear some kind of stop. Okay, let's try to adjust the... I don't want that much reverb. Oh, that's better. I think this should be moving. So maybe we say, hey, this second, well, 2 is going to be on a volume LFO. And operator 2 is the one that causes it to morph and have FM. So if we change the volume on that, then you get like sort of a morphing sound. And if you set it to global, that means it doesn't reset whenever you stop the note. So it just keeps going. then maybe it can be larger. That sounds pretty good. And then it changes with the chord progression too, so. I think it should be a little. I think it should be a little wider, actually. Nice. And then we have. Oh, that sounds good. That echo. Give it some stereo offset. Nice. Okay, now we can kind of. Let me see what people are saying. That sounds right to me. Yeah, the synth. Yeah, nice. I think it is right. Oh, yo, welcome, Dev. Is the SNES the same as the NES, that you could technically break out every channel in the game so it's easier to transcribe? Unfortunately not. You could not separate any of the channels except for the Game Boy channels, which DKC3 didn't even use, so it doesn't even matter. But you cannot, in most games you can convert to MIDI. This game you cannot, because they use their own game engine and no one knows how to crack it. So there will be nothing but ear on this game, unfortunately. I'll be back. Well, okay. Okay, so now I just need to change it with the chord progression. So the chord progression changes are like. And it doesn't change when it goes to G. Okay, so it's like on the change to F or A sharp, it's like maybe it's just like. Definitely not that obvious of a change. Let's see. Okay, so it's definitely staying at D for the most part. Maybe this one's going up here, and maybe that's it. So let's put this into the song and see what gels, because I can only hear it like once playing it in the pattern. So, and then this will live. Where's this one gonna live? This one can live in between here. Oh yeah, I forgot about the percussion loop. And duplicate that. And then we can have this one play twice. I think we need it to be. Sounds like it's getting there. Let's check the original. Okay, it's a little bit lower on that last note. Let's see. Yeah, I think that's right. Oh, the percussion loop actually stops in that part. Okay, so... And that part sounds right for the synth. Okay, it sounds like it's similar to the last one, except that it moves down. And at this point, we're in F, I think. Yeah, we go down to F. It also reminds me of Disco Train with the... Oh, I think I already made one here. I think it goes down to C. Interesting. And this, definitely you do not need to stretch that out. And I think it might just repeat that part of the next one, right? Because this one's technically C. Maybe. And I swear this one was like had a lower part here where it was like... No, I swear that this part here had like a lower, this top note goes down here. But I could be wrong. Yeah, I think I'm right actually. Nice. Yeah, I think that's it. Nice. Okay. That sounds good. Been trying to transcribe Final Puyo Puyo by ear lately. I've never heard of that before. Is that another video game song? I don't know. Need to make the Waterworld theme of DKC3 GBA. It's too good. Yeah, I might do that. I mean, it would definitely be... I don't think I have all the things I need. I've had an inkling that there was a violin patch, because I've been missing the whale sounds, because there's like some whale sound effects in there. But I heard a violin patch in the... that I think might have been used to create the whale sounds, through pitch bending, so I'm gonna have to experiment with that. And if I could get that, if I could confirm that the whale sounds are that violin, then I could do an actual restoration rather than just a recreation. But if not, I'll just do a recreation. But I wanted to do Cavern Caprice, or no, this one is Cascade Capers, because this one I like a lot, even more than Waterworld. But definitely there will be more. So I think the synth can come down. We have to leave some room for in terms of volume, because the drums are going to come in and do their thing. Nice. Now the synth is needs a mixer track. And I think I'm gonna give it the reverb of the song. So let's give that, and then we're gonna send this to lead. I think it sounds like the piano timing is off, so it's like da da dum. Oh, I think it's actually here. Like the thing is, like it hits before the loop, maybe? Yeah. Nice. Nice, but the pads are still there, right? Yeah. I think there might be a lot more echoes in there. Yeah, it definitely is. I think it might be the wise man's famous 1.5 step. Yeah, there we go. Nice. Okay, so at that point, the percussion comes back in. And then we have the synth again. I'm not sure if it goes for the full thing. Maybe it'll do... Okay, so it does it for... Wow. Okay, and then the melody comes in. This will be some fun. Okay, so for about how many bars is this? 2, 3, 4. Okay, so 4. I think it's brighter than that. Okay, and then what happens next? Let's see. I just thought that voice sample sounds like a choir about to say Donkey Kong, but it gets cut off. Dong. Yeah, they could have done. They should have done that. There's I don't think there was technology back then to create your own choir, unless they recorded it, had all the crew get together and chant it. But that would be pretty cool. Nowadays, you can make a choir say different words, or like say different phonetics, and create your own word builder. That's pretty cool. You could feasibly have that be like Dong, Ki, Kong, and then have it on different. But as of now, it just says Oh. But it's the same phonetic. Oh, Dong, Oh, Okay, so at this point, what happens? What drops? So the synth is still there. So that means we have the synth going again. If we just copy... and I think there's no synth pad at this point. Yeah, I think it's just... There's the synth. And then there's... I think the bass is there too. Oh, the piano is doing something different. Wow. Okay, that's gonna be a bit to transcribe. But basically, at least we have the synth there. We know the synth is there. And then we have our piano doing some fun stuff. Okay, so we have dun 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 dun. Okay, I think it waits a little bit before doing that. Dun, 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 dun. Maybe here, and maybe these are like shorter, like half step. You're doing. So, and then it's like da 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 dum dum. Da 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 dum. Okay, so it definitely goes down to G. But I think it's chromatic. The walk down to G is chromatic. Nice. Okay, so the run we have here is... So it's more up here. And I think those small notes are still like, although are still like a step big. Yeah. Or maybe I think it starts a little bit higher, like up here. Yeah, it's better. Okay, and then we go up to dun 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 dun. So it definitely does like a dun 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 dun. I think it goes back up to D. Okay, and then yeah, it just repeats those two. So it goes back up, chromatic walk back up to D. But then what does it do before that? Because it does something. Dun 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 dun. Dun 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 dun. It does like dun 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 dun. Oh, but it only does two. So it's only two of them. Okay. So what we have here is we're gonna have to slice this off and move it to the next part. Yeah, so this is really blues style. So he's going into like real. This is a typical like blues type of lick, where you would like mostly stay pentatonic. What we have here is the pentatonic because you're not using any of these two notes here. Not any of the notes that are closer together, so you're staying further apart. Except whenever you do those walk downs. So those walk downs create contrast where you're doing like chromatic walk downs. And also what we're doing is creating danceability by creating a beat in thirds, where the drum loop, when we have it, will be like pretty more or less on the beat, like this is like going in thirds and kind of tricking the ear. So we have three, it's in spaces of three here. We have 1 2 3 1 2 3 1 2 3, and then it goes back to, you know, just doing twos. So we have 1 2 3 here, and then we have 1 2 1 2. We have 1 2 3 1 2 3 1 2 3 1 2 3 1 2 1 2. And so it kind of tricks the user by creating like a faster than normal tempo. It feels too fast. So it kind of creates a like, oh, this is the wrong tempo, but it also feels like it's the right tempo. And that's a lot of what makes blues and funk and all that great groovy sounds. So it's in direct contrast with the synth, which is playing straight up eighth notes, and this is playing in like thirds and stuff. So it's kind of cool how that works together. Damn, that's so funky sounding. Yes, I think the third walk down is a few semitones off. So the third walk down. So here's walk down number 1, walk down number 2. We only have 2, unless you mean these. In which case it would mean this is a few semitones off. Let me check that. Dun dun da 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 dun da. Maybe. I think these sound pretty right. Da 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 dun da. No, I think that one's good. Maybe it could be higher. We'll see. Yeah, maybe you're right. It could be higher. Oh, yeah. That sounds better. Thank you. Maybe it's specific notes. I think it is actually higher, yeah. Yeah, that makes sense. Okay, and then what does it do on the other two chords? Okay, here we go. We have something different now. So it's like dun 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 dun. So if we port this over to here, and then the next note I think is A sharp. No, maybe not. Oh yeah. So then so maybe it's going the other direction. No, it would be da. Maybe it's, I think it sounds chromatic. And then maybe this one is kind of here. No, it's an F. But where's the lead up to that? Like, what is... Okay, and then it walks up to like here. So instead we need to create, I need to create two instances of this. Okay, and then this is gonna go to F. Okay, so let's check on those runs. Maybe those runs are different here. Yeah, it's definitely chromatic there. Maybe it's higher. I think it might be like up here. No, maybe not. Okay, that sounds right. Yeah. I think you had it right. It was a hopeful walk up the whole time. Ah, nice. I'm gonna check it on the keyboard. Say the walk up sound. Okay, cool. All right, glad I have someone else like keeping me in check here with these. And yeah, so the next one, what is the next one doing? It's probably doing something unique. Okay, and then just no activity. So this one has like no anything after here. All these are gone. And then it sounds like it's doing sounds like it's doing another walk up. Or maybe it's higher than that. Let me check. Yeah, it's definitely higher than that. Or maybe it's A. Yeah. Oh, the this part's chromatic, I think. And I think it ends on C. Because this part's supposed to end on C. Yeah, that sounds right. Good morning, dear star. Thank you. Welcome, LSA Yamato Angelo SFA. Good morning. Let's see. So this one is. Yeah, I think it definitely eats up. Maybe this one is not chromatic, but it's still like it's pentatonic instead. Yeah, that sounds more likely. Nice. So this part, wait, I think this is like, I think this is all just one now, yeah. Nice. Okay, now we can begin to introduce the choir. This will be fun. I think I've found the right choir that was used in the game. It's from, let's see, Lightware, like Envision Lightware, the pop version, the pop edition. So it's pop. It's not a choir. Like classical choirs, they don't have voices that bright. This one is like, this is like someone using their bright, like a bright voice, not instead of like having to project to it through a concert hall. This is it's like when you're recording vocals, you don't have to project nearly as much. And so you can have a brighter voice rather than having the oh. You can instead, like, that's like having a dull, like having to project, having to use a lot of volume when you're singing. It means you kind of have to do the oh, not the ah. That one doesn't, that volume doesn't carry very much. But this one, whenever you're recording, you can have it as bright as you want. So pop choirs will do this ah, and so they sound much brighter. And so that's what we have here, is definitely like a bright burst of voice rather than a classical oh, oh. So yeah, let's find first empty and call this choir. And so we will do, and I also have to give this a mixer track, otherwise it's going to go through the bass and that's going to have undesirable results. Let's open our outputs, and then we're going to send this to 7 and 8. And then we're going to send 7 and 8 to the very next channel 14, or the next mixer track 14. Wait, no, it's not 14. We've done a lot of work since then. It's apparently, oh, because it's +5. That's right. But the synth we've got there is going to be different. It's going to be there, so we're going to do 15, and that gives us 20. So yeah, that would be it. And then we'll call this choir. And then we're gonna send this by default to accompaniment reverb. It's definitely gonna need reverb. And I think the piano bass, did I put that in a thing? No, I didn't. Let's put that into accompaniment with no reverb. Okay, so the pop chords here, I think I have a... no, I'll just recreate those from track. So it's like da da da, and I think it does. It starts going off on 2. Oh, that's the synth. Contact, and then we're gonna start this on channel 4. Not that low. And I think it only plays for like 1 beat. So it plays twice, once per bar, and then it goes downward when it plays the G. So we have, and I think it's is. Yeah, that sounds about right. And the next one is A sharp, and I think it goes higher, actually. Let me listen to that before I go there. Does go higher. Fascinating. I thought he told it was. It technically is a choir. I don't know if that. It's not really a classical choir, but it's like a bunch of people singers in a room, all singing. You know, so that's. I don't know if that counts as a choir, a vocal group maybe. Fascinating. Thank you, good sir. Hell yeah. Welcome, Kaoshin. If I'm pronouncing that right. Yeah. Hell yeah. Okay, so this is going to go up, which means we're going to use probably F as the top note. And this is an A sharp progression. I think we have some space here, so maybe this is like... Okay, that sounds right. And then next we have, I think it goes back down, and we have F. It sounds like it goes down a little bit, but not much. So maybe it keeps this F here and has very little motion. I can also hear that the choir is actually longer, but it sort of fades away. And I think that last one's supposed to be a C, but oh well. For now, let's get the envelope. And there's definitely supposed to be no attack on this. Like, it just starts. Yeah. So let's turn off the sustain. And then the decay is going to be like 1 second. Nice. No holds. Okay, and that last one is going to be C major. Okay, so technically the chord progression we have here is like 1 minor. Whoops. And then we have 4 major. And then we have 6 major. And 3 major. And 7 major. So that's it in the context of minor, but it is very poppy, so in the context of major it would be 6. 2 major. And then 4 major. 1, 5. So we do have quite the, we have like 6, 2 major, 4, 1, 5. So 6, 2, 4, 5, no, 4, 1, 4, 1, 5, 6, 2, 4, 1, 5. So it's kind of like a pop chord progression, but they throw in that 2 there. And I wonder if the 2 is like a 2, 5, 1 in any way. So it's like 2. No, it's not 5. This would be, but it's a 2 and then followed by 4. Cool. Nice chord progression. The SNES version was composed by Eveline. Yes. I can't stay watching the stream because I have work, but I wanted to stop in and say hi and thank you for all the OST restoration work you do. Much love, a subscriber from England. Hi, welcome, Truffles. Glad to have you pop by. Welcome. England is nice, I heard. Yeah. All right. So let's see what else we've got. I think this is pretty much done. So we add this in here, and then we have it repeat the first 2 bursts for a while. So I think the choir should be louder in some way because it was a really big burst. Yeah. It's like really in your face. Maybe a little quieter. Wait a second. Oh, it's the first, so it has to change, like, yeah, okay. That makes sense. And then it goes to this. Na, 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 na. Nice. I love happy tunes like that. It's like a nice mix between pop and ambient, like chill ambient. I like it. And it also goes great with Dave's style, and it's more major than he normally does, because normally he does this like brooding minor stuff. But here he was like, I'm gonna take that same ambient, like reverby, super feel good style and make it major, make it a fun pop tune. I like that. Sort of like he did with Mining Melancholy, but Mining Melancholy was still very minor. You didn't get a lot of movement here. You have a lot of nice poppy movement. I like it. Okay, so the next thing that we have here is the strings, the string lead. Ah, we got $5 from Kaoshin. Thank you. Keep up the amazing work. Awesome. Glad you enjoy it. Okay, just watching this before bed. Nice. So maybe you'll dream about being on the stream. Go to bed if you go to bed right after this. Nice. So let's find first empty, and we're gonna call this string melody. And so for that, I do believe I'm fairly certain that the game used this patch from the Roland orchestral family disc, and it is strings orchestral F for forte, which means it basically means it's loud. And it's number 2, A, and then S is for stereo. Oh, that is loud. Wow. I wonder why. Oh, I think I set an envelope on it, but the envelope is not really accurate. I'm trying. There's a natural like attack in the sample, so I'm trying to use the envelope to like bring out the transient. Maybe I just need to. But I want to do this on the 5th one. Okay, that sounds better. Okay. So let's turn that down a bit because it's still pretty loud. Okay, so the melody for this is like, it waits a bit. I'm gonna put this in the line so it can play while I compose, because I'm not sure how much space there's supposed to be here. Okay, it starts about halfway through the bar. Let me figure that out first. Not really sure. Let me consult the original first. Okay. Okay, that sounds right. So we start on A. Okay, it needs to be faster here. I think here it's supposed to hit the downbeat, yes? No, it's definitely not. So it's definitely supposed to be at the half part of the bar. No, it starts to be before that. No, it's supposed to be after. There we go. Okay, I think the piano bass needs to come down. Because with the perfect. And I think it's supposed to sustain more than that. Like I need it to be more like this. Okay, so then the next, that sounds good. And then the next line is, thank you. Always good to catch one of these streams, even if I hadn't in a little while. Good to know. I hope you have a nice day. Ah, yes. Have a good night. You're going. Okay, and then the next phrase is... Okay, so... Ah, okay. Oh, it's A sharp on this. No, wait, this one's the G. So it's supposed to be... I think it would, that would be more logical. See if that makes sense. Maybe. Nice. Okay, yeah, I think that works. Okay, so now we have, let's duplicate that. Well, no, this way it stops after the bar. I know that. So let's copy and paste. So here we have whoops. G, B, da da da, D, da, do, D, do. Oh, something's not gel. Oh, because this one is the, it's not actually G. It's the D again, because the G is here. So maybe it would be better, as I first thought, to do 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 do. Nice. And I think I definitely want to hear more. I'm definitely hearing some attack there. Let's do like this. Nice. I like it. But I think it should fade out maybe a little bit over time, or over a long time. Still doesn't sound like it. Let's see, I need it lower. Okay, what is the next line? Oh, how nice. I'm glad to see people being so nice in chat. Lovely. It's wholesome. I'm here for it. Anyway, so let's see what the next phrase is. Okay, so that next part is okay, yeah, typical minor, good minor cadence. Very good. And then it plays right after, pretty much, like da da da, or maybe, or like in between the bar. Let's see. But there's still some left. What is happening there? It doesn't even end. Okay, so we have oh, there's a little bit before this that I didn't know. Okay. That makes more sense. So what is that first one? Okay, so it's lower. So it's actually supposed to be here. Da-da. Nice, okay. And I think there's some synths after this. Yeah. And then after that, I think there's more percussion. But I want the choir to be on its own thing. Actually, the choir should be with the pads, because it's technically just all just chords. So here, this one comes back, I think. But actually, no, I think it's the drum loop that still goes on here. So is this? No, actually none of them are there. Okay, so we have the choirs again, and I think this time they're a little, like, the second part's a little quieter. Oh, the pads are still there. Did they just start? Okay, so the pads are still going on that whole time. Okay, so let's create a new space for the choir, and then we're gonna put the pads under that. I think the pads can come up, and maybe we don't need that other pad because it's already high. I would like to raise up the highs, actually. We need more highs. Yeah, there we go. That means this can be centered. I also would like the pads to be stereo separated a little bit and create some stereo separation to give it a little bit more wideness. Looks like we still have room for the drum loop, which is nice. Lovely. Okay, so what is it next? Okay, and then the percussion comes back in. Oh, and I think the percussion is also buried in there. It's just hard to hear. Okay, and then we have just the drum loop and the percussion. Okay, then we have the percussion and the piano doing its original thing. Okay, and then at some point the drum loop, or the percussion loop drops out. Okay, it fades out. Okay, so... welcome, DXD2XF. I love your work. I've been following you for years. Happy to see you almost hit 50k subs. Yes, that'll be cool. It's coming. I love Cascade Capers. Looking forward to finish your finished work. Thank you. I'm glad you're here. Welcome. By the way, is there a future plan to restore the rest of DKC OST like 3 Chop Tumble? For example, I mean, if it's possible, as it's looking now, it's not going to be possible for a long time. So there is no... I don't plan that far ahead, and it looks like it's going to be very far ahead because now I don't know half of the sources. I mean, there's the bass in Treetop, like both the basses in Treetop Tumble are discovered, and I think I know the marimba. Both marimbas. There's like 2 marimbas in there, and the only thing that's missing for Treetop Tumble, I think, is the little flute. And I think that's mostly a synth, so that could be recreated. Oh no, there's the drums. The drums are missing, so if we find the drums, then I can do that. I still have to keep looking, but there's no, I do not know. Maybe. We'll see what happens. Playing by ear, yes, because that's the only thing I can do with this. Welcome, Flimsy McGee. The only thing I can do for this song is play by ear because nobody knows how to crack um, the game's MIDI data. Actually, there is no MIDI data. It's all their Rare's proprietary engine, and nobody knows how to crack it. So the only thing I can do is transcribe by ear. Welcome, Neil Lalonde. The SNES version or GBA version, it's gonna be both. Well, this is for Treetop Tumble. I can probably just do, if I'm gonna restore that, I can probably just do the GBA version. But we'll see how this goes because as of now, I'm gonna try doing this cover with like including like for Cascade Capers, including the SNES version and like various things. But if it's a restored version, I think I can only I have to do, in order to make a restored version, I kind of have to just do the GBA version because people will complain that it's like, because a restored version has to be as close as possible. And so yeah, that's gonna have to be just it. But if I do a cover, then I can like do the SNES version too. And the SNES version is already done, but I can mix and mingle them as a cover. So I think what is happening here is the choir is fading out. First of all, the choir fades out. So let's give that a automation. And then but the only problem is like it's gonna mess up. No, wait, it doesn't. It only does that when I use MIDI channels. The choir is going to be, I'm going to give that and assign that a volume knob. And then I'm going to go to generators, contact, and volume. And then I'm going to go, actually, no, I need to not do automation, but create an automation clip. So that means that here, I'm going to drag this down, and at the end it's going to fade. But it has to be, you're still supposed to be able to hear. Yeah, there you go. You have that inkling of it kind of like fading out after that. And then I think, I don't think the pads fade out. I think they keep on going. Yeah, the pads just stop. Okay, and so then the choirs come back. Okay, so then we're gonna have these are block chords, so we're gonna have to do a new version of the choir. And basically, the best way to do this would be to just copy this over. And then do like this, extend them out. And then that's that. But also, I can glue these together so that they're all more or less one thing. But then I would also need, because these have envelopes on them, and they fade out, so I would also need to create a new patch for this. So let's, I just need to Control G for glue. And so, with that, I'm going to send this to channel 6. And channel 6 will be, oh wait, I already have the strings on, no, I do have channel 6, okay. So then I'll put a new patch, a new pop choirs patch. What did you do? Okay, there's no reason for that. Okay, so now the envelope for this is going to be such that it fades in really slow and fades out. So no hold, but there's going to be a lot of attack. No sustain. Oh, but these also have to be chopped up because they can't be like fading in and out at will. Were they always fading? I think they were like, one was fading in and the other was fading out. No, they were fading in. Okay, yeah, that makes sense. So it's fading in and out faster than I originally thought. I need more attack and less decay. A little more decay. And let's put this in a mixer track with the with the original ones. But those last ones, do they interrupt like that, or are they... Oh, they fade out faster. Okay, so what that means is that I'm gonna have to automate the attack and decay knob. That means that here we're gonna have attack, and for the most part, this is gonna be Control I right where it is. But then when the last two come in, so here it's gonna go down. It's too far down. Okay, and then the decay is going to be much the same. Actually, you know what? I could have just done this on the same thing, and then just automate it like that. It'll probably be more efficient. So in this case, I'll drag the knob. What are you doing? Don't. Oh no, I have to do this. Okay, so now here you can. So let's see. So for the first ones, the first 8 bars, this has to be null, which means that I'm going to have to introduce or control insert space here. And then I'm going to put 0 here. So there's no attack when in the staccato section. But then at bar 15, it goes down. That means I'm going to have to remove this. Wait, let me set it up to be a bar. So we cut that, and then it all takes care of itself. Now the decay, we want to sort of be the same more or less until it gets to bar 15, and then it goes down. Actually, maybe it's slower around here. Oh, not that slow. There we go. Okay, and here it's higher. Oh, what is happening here? Oh, that's because I didn't have it on the same, it has to all be on 4. Nice. Okay, we need more decay here. Pretty much the same amount as before. No, absolutely not. And I think this one, yeah, I'd have to slice this one up. I think I need more attack there. And maybe a little more decay as well. I don't want it to completely fade out. There we go. Okay. Now, we're gonna slice this part. And then move this over here. And now this part is going to go back up because I need it to be normal again. Wait a second, why is this a bunch of long? Oh, it extended out. Yeah, don't do that. I don't know why FL Studio does that. It's clearly not something anyone would want. So this part. And then the percussion loop kind of fades out here. Hearing that last bit of the choir is so game accurate. Yes, I like it a lot. What are your thoughts on Donkey Kong Bonanza? I'm not really. I've kind of exited gaming for the most part. I didn't own. Last thing I owned was like a Wii when I was a teenager, and then now I never really bought a Switch or anything, because that's a lot of money that I don't have. But it looks nice. It looks a lot like Astrobot. It looks very marketable. It looks like a nice game. It doesn't really look like the Donkey Kong that we know and love from the 90s, but I guess, but I don't really think Nintendo's ever going to bring that back, because it, like, right now the style is sort of very bright and cheery and cartoony colors. And but yeah, it's nice. Yeah, I think it's definitely looks like a fun game, but I don't know if I'll get to play it. I didn't get to play Tropical Freeze yet because I don't own a Switch. But yeah, probably maybe if the opportunity arises, I would love to play it. But I don't have any plans. Brought back Stickerbush Symphony. Yeah, I hope they bring that part back. I hope they do a lot of deep cuts with like the level design and bring those back. Kind of whacked for money, right? Yeah, I'm whacked for money too. Disappointed they bring. Yeah, they should bring a lot. They better bring a lot of stuff back. Okay, so let's see what we've got here. So the percussion loop is supposed to fade out in some way. Wait. Okay, so it fades out right about there when the choir starts, and then it starts fading out. But it doesn't really fade. Oh yeah, here we go. And then I think it starts fading out right about at that second bar. No, don't do that. And then I want to bring the volume back for when it comes back in. Okay, so then we have... Okay, so then he brings back the synth. Oh, I actually need it to be only that part. Let's see. Okay, then there's this part and this part. Nice, okay. Okay, and then the last 2 bars is when the percussion comes back in. Okay, let's see what's next. Ah, so then it comes back without the pads, and it does the piano again. Let's see, 10 out of 10 song. Welcome, Chris. Yes, it is a 10 out of 10 song. That's why I'm doing it. Okay. So what we have here is just the percussion, it sounds like, and then the synth continues on with its normal loop. While everything else leaves. Okay, so the synth plays how many times before dropping out? One, two, three. And then it fades out. It's fading out for 2 bars, and then the piano comes back in. Okay, and then it goes back into the main swing. So that's pretty much the loop right there. Okay, so for this part, I want to fade out the synth. So we are going to right-click the volume knob on the synth and press Create Automation Clip. And then we'll just drag this down here. Nice, good way to end it, but we don't want to end it. We want to lead it into, I'm going to try leading it into, I want to do, what's it called, the SNES version with the GBA instruments, and I want to have that take over. I think I can lead this well into this one. It's kind of like a, and then you can have, so we can have, what we can do is have the, actually, I want to make sure that this also does not stay like with the volume off. That's a recipe for disaster. And so we'll keep the percussion going. And then we'll have I'm gonna keep it going for a while, actually. So then we'll have so these melody. I want to take the SNES version in on this now. Let's see, ostinatos. Where is that opening thing that starts off the song? Oh, it's just ARP. Okay. So this, I want to bring this over to Synth. Let's see how that sounds. And it plays an octave lower. Yeah, there we go. That sounds good. Let's open with that. And this is really low velocity, which is why it sounds so quiet. So let's bring it up. No, absolutely not. What are you doing? Okay, so here. Maybe that's a little too loud. What in the world is that? So that's a proper volume. Okay, so then I want to bring in the, I want to change the melody. Dun, dun, dun. Change that to the piano. How about that? No. Okay, so then that means there is a delay thing here that needs to be ported over to the piano's mixer track. And so that means, let's see, arpeggio. This is the harp, yeah. Okay, so we already have that delay, so let's just save this preset as untitled. And then we're gonna port that over to piano as an extra delay. And then we're gonna go grab the automation where the delay comes in. No, that's here. And we're gonna cut that. And we're gonna port that to the piano. Nice. Now this part, I don't really have, this is like these subtle bells, and I can remove this now, it doesn't need to be here. These subtle bells that exist in the original, the high agudo. And I think these are in the wrong octave. Yeah. I think that I don't really have an equivalent for that, so that can kind of just stay as that. Guess I don't need to be here. But I don't think there needs to be that many echoes of this. And I think I never, like, actually, I can just turn this off. And this needs to be quieter. Nice. Okay, and now there's supposed to be pads going on through all this. That synth is so amazing. I could listen to a loop of that for hours, right? It's a good synth. I like it. Great stuff. Thank you, Dr. Winkles. Welcome. David Wise came back for both tropical freeze. Yes, he did. That drum beat was cool. They got listen to a loop of it for hours. Welcome, Pete Brinsinger. Very good. Thank you, Donkey Kong Country TV. Welcome. So now we need. There's some pads. I think that's the Airvox here. Okay, and so now this is gonna go over to Contact, where we will add this to the, let's see, the choirs here. No, this is gonna go to the pads, because this is technically like a little pad here. FM 8. Okay, and now we just have to automate this sort of like fading in and fading out. We have to automate this, which means that during the time where it's a pad, we want this to be all the time. We want to make sure that this stays this volume when we're playing the GBA version. Now we can kind of play around with this one, where it's Airvox, and we can sort of, so I can see where I wanted this to fade in and start fading out. So right here, from bar 2 to like bar 2.5, that's where I want it to be fading in. And so here I'm gonna do pencil and then beat. That way I can do shoop. And then I can sort of like fade this out until like up to bar 5. Okay. Let's put this in here. Nice. Okay, and then we repeat this process. So we'll control and then B. And then I think one more time. We do that. Okay. Nice. Yeah, because the things are the same, it looks like. Except that here it fades out much faster. It fades out from 10.5 to 12. That's gonna be here. Nice. Okay, and then I think that's when the first and then that's when the bass comes in. So the bass is going to be played by the piano now. And so for that, we just have to change this to, I think, 3. And it has to go down. Nice. Okay, so let's put that down here. No, here. Okay, so then this part, instead of using the pad again, I'm going to say that this part belongs to the choir, because the Airvox in the original is kind of like dubbing as both pads and choir, so I'm going to say that they're going to share the fun. So this part is going to go to the choir. And so this part, what is the thing? I think the choir goes to 4. But at this point, I need to turn off the attack here. Nice. Lovely. And I like having the percussion thing sort of permeate through here. Yeah, and then if I recall correctly, the bass sort of permeates through here. And then at some point, this art fades out. And now I just need to remember like what exactly the SNES version is doing at this point. Let me see. I have to find the sound of this. Okay, so now I'm just listening to my restored version for instruction. Okay, and then this start. I don't know why. Okay, so this one isn't fading out all the way. This one just goes like that. Okay, so this... Let's see... How many times did the bass play for that? Okay, so it does play. Okay, here we go. But it does play that full time. Okay. So how many times does this bass play? I think it plays. Okay, so we have, let's say, before something else happens. And this part continues on. Okay, so the art fades out a little bit. So... 2, 3, 4, 5, and then the hi-hats come in here. And then the arps kind of fade out. Okay, so the hi-hats. So the hi-hats are gonna have to be, yeah, that would have to be like a drum loop of some kind. But I don't think maybe we'll like take out the hi-hats. Or maybe we can just have the hi-hats in there, since there's not really much of an equivalent. Like as they are in the SNES. Or maybe at this point, I think this would be a good time anyway to just bring the drum loop in. Yeah. Okay, and I think I already have a theremin, like the thing for the theremin. So let's just fade this out. Nice. Okay. Would you ever try other David Wise works like Battletoads? I don't know if that's really in my scope of interest, but it's someone would have to commission me for that, I think. Because I think people are mostly on my channel are mostly interested in Donkey Kong Country more than anything. And I don't even know if Battletoads is possible. There might be still be some missing stuff. Not sure. Okay, so at this point we would bring in the thing once we have it. The drum loop. I'll have to get that later. After 3 hours, I'm going to cut this off and then we'll continue it tomorrow. So we have 15 more minutes, I'd say. Okay, so at this point, the hi-hats come in, right? And we have more drums. So it's like 1, 2, 3, 4, and then after 4, that's when the arpeggios come in. Actually, but it is getting kind of. At some point, we're gonna have to phase out the percussion, because as it stands, Dave didn't really do more than like 5 things at a time. So actually, this is keeping within that, so. Nice. Oh, but the drum loop would kind of be like the 5th thing. Okay, so that would be going on there. At some point. Okay, so then you have that, at some point you have that big arpeggio sweep. Which would be... No, that would not be it. Here we go, melody 2. This will obviously be given to the piano. And let's see, this will go here, and then we'll send that to channel 2. Nice. And I think that I have to make sure that those delays stay there. Yeah, there we go. So now this theremin will also, by principle, be given to FM8. No. Or maybe it would go to FM8, but maybe it could go to the synth. But it has to go an octave down. Could be. And it's all, it's mono, so that doesn't really work too well, but maybe maybe the Yeah, but I would need to have a lot stronger. It would need to be a lot. Why is it so quiet anyway? Oh, I didn't bring the volumes back up properly. The volumes got taken down. Why is the volume so low here? It's supposed to be... Oh, because of... Yeah, I see now what is happening. So for this part, melody 2, we're going to make sure that this is full up. And then we're going to bring the velocity back to where it was. Normal. Nice. Lovely. So here's where, actually, I think here's where it should start. What is happening here? So those are not playing, or that, or I just can't hear it. I think I just can't hear it. Let's try putting the velocity up. Okay, so it's still really quiet, which means that I need to somehow bring this up beyond its oh, why is it? This thing is so stupid, man. It's still going at low velocity, even though I'm telling it, like, hey, you need to, like, come back up to full volume. That's so stupid. Like, why is that even happening? There's no reason for that. Crazy. They really need to, like, fix some things with FL Studio, because that should not be happening. Maybe it's because this one is, like, continuing the automation, I guess, which is dumb. But let's see, maybe if we go here and say somehow after this it goes up, I don't know. That should not be happening. Absolutely not. Because if you... So I think what I'll have to end up doing is, like, turning this automation into a like the events, turn this into an automation thing in the playlist so that it doesn't screw itself up. Turn into automation clip. Okay. I guess I've never had to do this before because FL Studio has never been this stupid. So it looks, wow, okay. Yeah, definitely don't want that. That's not smart. Okay, so that is kind of where we want this, even though it's, like, really weird looking. Now I just want this after this point to go up. I think it's, like, creating a bunch of points that I don't want. What are you doing, man? What's happening here? Like, there's no reason for that. Okay, so now let's see if FL Studio can be smarter about that. I can hear it faintly now. And I think it's on the wrong beat. And I think the choir part is too loud. That's part of the problem. And it's not responding to velocity, which is weird. I think there's no velocity mapped in the patch. Which means that we have to go to amplifier, modulation, and add the velocity modulator. Okay, that should take care of it. Okay, so it is very faint now. Let's put this up to normal velocity then. Yeah, okay, that makes sense. Okay, so now let's raise the volume. Okay, so first of all, this is off, a little bit off here. Second of all, FM8 really needs to step it up on the volume because that's way too quiet. So let's see. How do I, oh yeah, this is the problem. Look at that. You got your volume way down here. Like, what is happening? Okay, so that means that, well, we don't want to put it up too much. Nice. But now these are going to go up a little bit. But they were always loud even in the original, so maybe that's a good thing. Maybe not that good. And the other problem is that this automation is just really stupid in the sense that it just has a bunch of points. It's like, come on, man. Like, I need this to, like, delete. What the heck? Okay, so that is more, let's go ahead and zoom in and like just kind of remove some of these stragglers. This goes here, this, I need it to snap now. Let me get the pencil back. I can just delete at will. What are you doing, man? Okay, so that's more or less where I need it to be. Now, this is going to be down here. It's going to be less volume. I think in general, this ought to, the pads like are going to need to come down in volume. Now with this rise, you can just go down to normal volume. Okay, that should be way down there. Maybe a little more. That's good. Okay, now the choirs are not loud enough, so we need to go full velocity. There we go. Okay, very good. Nice. This doesn't need to be here till there. Okay. I need this to be a little louder. I don't think this was supposed to be here. I think this was supposed to be like down here. And I think it's supposed to start there. Oh, and it's really offbeat too. How did that happen? Okay, and then this is off now. Okay, so after that, let's see what chat is making. Nice. You have a great taste for video game music. Thank you, Kronos. Welcome. Never sit with the GBA OST. I'm more suit with the suit. Okay, I see how that works. SNES DKC3 OST. Okay. Welcome, the autistic gamer. Well, that's what we're doing right now, is the SNES DKC3. Oh, with GBA instruments, though. Welcome. Thank you, Hornet Scout. $5 from Hornet Scout. Nice. Can you keep your old remasters in some sort of old playlist? I like the old ones better, but now I can't listen to them. Well, you can find the, old videos. Like, the old videos are still there, but they're just not in a playlist. So I mean, I can make another playlist. Yeah, I might do that. But it's also, you're free to also create your own playlist with these if you go and find the videos. But I suppose I could do that too. Yeah, I could make that happen. Is it just me, or does this sound like a Metroid song? Does it? I never really thought of this as being Metroid, but I never played the later Metroid games, so I don't know how it evolved over time. Rich Trader, welcome, Rich Trader. Nice. Okay, so at what point does this become like this change? Okay, so then it changes and we get this like other beat again. That piano is going to need to have a lot more bass. Then it's going to have to turn it. Nice. but I think the bass should stop because in the game it kind of fades out. But I think here, since the piano note lasts so long, it should be like. And then it's supposed to echo like that, so we need another, like, we need a delay on the piano bass. Maybe it is 4. 4 sounds right. Let's give it some panning, some diffusion. Let's turn the level down. Put ping pong, and then nice. Sounds great. Let's make sure this only happens here, not on the piano bass, not on the GBA version. Now, I think when the drum beat comes in, I also want to fade out the percussion because that's going to be too much. Actually, it should be earlier than that because that's whenever. Here is when the percussion starts. Oh, and I think it actually it kind of starts here. Yeah, no, actually it starts right here. Okay, then we have this dum 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 dum, and then it repeats. Nice. Okay, and then let's see, how are we doing on time? Yeah, I think we're over 3 hours here now, so I kind of want to cut it down now. But we'll pick this up tomorrow because this is a fun project, and probably finish it. So that's so we'll be going soon, and then I'll just run through this one for one time, and then so you guys can hear the progress so far if you haven't. All right, ready? Whoops. I think I had my mic muted that whole time. Whoops. Okay, so yeah, thank you, Angelo. Thank you, LSA Lamato and Yamato Angelo SFA for the 30 HNL. Absolutely fascinating. Thank you. Glad you enjoy it. All right, so that's where we'll call it for today. You guys have a great morning or night wherever you are, and we'll come back with this probably tomorrow. So this will be Jam and Sam signing off. Until